Hi everybody, we are going to make a super easy, super cake today. This is not my recipe, this is a recipe many of you have heard of. It's often called a wacky cake. It's also sometimes called a dump cake, a garbage cake, or a depression cake, which are not super attractive names, so let's call it a wacky cake. But it's a naturally vegan recipe. It was said to have come around during the Depression era when people didn't have a lot of stuff in their kitchen, so there's no egg milk in it, which is perfect for vegans. So wacky cake, I also have to thank our friend Pepper and Bum, who inspired this recipe by making this delicious cake for us, and Bill for being our cameraman, so thank you. Here we go. So wacky cake, you kind of just dump things all together. Also, I've never made one of these before, so this is kind of brave. Although there's people doing many more brave things in our world right now than making a wacky cake. But let's experiment together. So first you put your dry ingredients in a bowl, and I will give you the recipe on my website. We're putting in 1.5 cups of flour, and I did research for those of you who are gluten-free. People just do a substitute with a 1-to-1 gluten-free flour. So go for it. Then we have a teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and a little bit of sugar. Sarcasm, 1 cup of sugar. This is organic sugar. And then we're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients together. This is wacky. Okay. Up next, gonna grab our baking pan. There was a debate online whether you grease a baking pan or not for wacky cake, so I greased it lightly. I went in between everyone's recommendations. We're gonna put our dry ingredients in our pan. Let's level this out. And then you make 3 holes in your cake mix. And you put in some wet ingredients. So we have a teaspoon of vanilla, a tablespoon of white vinegar. Again, I looked online, a lot of people use different kinds of vinegars, so use whatever you have. Looks like a science experiment. And then we're using 4 tablespoons of olive oil. A lot of recipes call for canola oil. We're gonna go with olive oil. And then pour 1 cup of cold water over the whole thing. And that is supposedly it. So now we're gonna stir this together until it's smooth. The oven is preheating at 350, by the way. It smells good. It bakes for 35 minutes, and then later we're gonna make a vegan peanut butter icing as well. Looks like a cake, looks like a cake batter. Smells like a cake batter. I think it is pretty wacky. I've heard you can also put it in a square pan and then it will just be thicker. Slices, bigger pieces. That looks pretty smooth. All right. So that's going in our oven, 35 minutes at 350, and we'll be back to check it out. Thanks. Okay, so while our Wacky cake is baking, we're gonna get our frosting ready. We're gonna make a simple peanut butter frosting. Again, thank you, Pat, for this recipe. I'm putting in a 1/4 cup of creamy peanut butter. Using, again, favorite kitchen tool, ice cream scoops, and the blue one is a 1/4 cup measurement. Then a cup of powdered sugar. And a splash of vanilla. And they're going to just add a little bit of milk. I'm using oat milk, whatever kind of milk you have, plant milk or oat milk at a time. And then mix this together until we get the consistency we want. Oops, happens. That's still pretty thick, so I'm going to add a little more milk. I've never made this before either. So rolling this together and splashing, but it doesn't look like enough frosting for that big cake. And I love frosting, so I'm going to double it. Let's do it. So, another 1/4 cup of peanut butter. A cup of powdered sugar. Better to have too much frosting than too little. A splash of vanilla. Some oat milk. There we go. I am not a baker, so if anyone out there is a baker and you're horrified by this, I understand. You can give me tips. I'm open to that. Oh, this is looking frosting-like. If you don't want to make a frosting, you could also just sprinkle powdered sugar over the cake, or you can make whatever kind of frosting, icing you want for the cake. There's a million vegan frostings out there. That looks delicious. Smooth and creamy and sugary, so we'll leave this out at room temperature also so it stays soft and creamy. Alright, be back later when the cake is cooled and we're ready to frost it. Okay, 35 minutes is up. This is our Wacky cake reveal. Ooh, that's the timer still going off. Looks good. So we're gonna let this cool and then we'll be back to ice it. Okay, so our Wacky cake has cooled. We took our dog, Butterhead Alfie, for a walk to let our cake fully cool, which is very important before you ice things, which I usually rush, but I'm not rushing tonight, so hopefully this will work. I also covered our icing because I saw that it started to get a little dried out. So this is our peanut butter icing on our chocolate Wacky cake. Take a deep breath here. Ooh. Spread this out. Exciting. It smells so good. So hopefully you have these ingredients at home. You can make one for yourself. Could sprinkle some chocolate chips on top of this if you wanted to. Cover it with a lid or plastic wrap to keep it fresh. Come on, you can do it. Oh! There it is. Are very easy. Hardly any ingredients. I'm not a baker, and I made a cake from scratch. Peanut butter iced Wacky cake. Let's try it. Okay, here we go. It came out of the pan very nicely. Let's try this. Very good. Tiny bit of a brownie taste and texture, so yum. So make a wacky cake. Look, make a wacky cake. Send me a picture. Tag me. Enjoy it. Make your cake and eat it too. The ingredients are on the recipe is on my website, vegancookingwithjason.com. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you soon. Happy cooking.